My name is Holger Friedrich. I'm the CEO of Aqua Heart, and we develop a pulmonary vein ablation system for the treatment of, for the first-line treatment of atrial fibrillation. Our system is powered by steam, and we call that SPA, and we are raising currently in A rounds to perform our first human trial of a total of $15 million. Let me see. Let me introduce to you what steam-powered ablation is. Our workflow is pretty standard for the pulmonary vein isolation. So we go through the groin in the venous system, then we go transeptal. We have developed our own deflectable transeptal sheath, and then we deploy a double balloon system over the wire into one ostium of any pulmonary vein. The outer balloon, as we call it, is a compliant balloon that is blown up with CO2, and with that we basically occlude this pulmonary vein. Once we are happy with the placement, we then start the production of steam into an inner balloon. And the inner balloon is, as you can see, a little bit smaller than the outer balloon, and where both balloons touch, there is a heat transfer into the tissue. And since steam is a very effective agent and very high energy agent, this heat transfer into the tissue is a very fast process, and we can isolate a pulmonary vein in under 10 seconds, which will drive the procedural times down to a level that is currently very hard to achieve, if not achievable. Now, if you look at the US and global markets for atrial fibrillation treatments, then it is very interesting to look at the age distribution of the people, because atrial fibrillation, as you might know, is definitely a disease of the elderly population. There's an assumption that up to 15% of the people above 65 will develop atrial fibrillation. That makes 1 billion people in the world being over 65, and that makes about 150 million potential patients for the atrial fibrillation ablation. Now, the reality is that currently we are only treating about 1 million patients globally with ablation, and already are spending $8 billion on these people. The mismatch between the number of patients and the number of ablations is important, especially under the light of what we call first-line therapy. There has been a growing evidence, growing body of evidence of the idea that whenever you are diagnosed with atrial fibrillation, you should get an ablation therapy by the means of pulmonary vein isolation. And that has proven to show a survival benefits for patients. So this different from the old days where atrial fibrillation was a domain of drug treatment. I think nowadays it is pretty clear that the first diagnosis should lead to this intervention, to the pulmonary vein isolation. And so knowing this, you might ask, why is everyone with atrial fibrillation not treated with a pulmonary vein isolation in the first place already? Now, there are, according to our talks to physicians and key opinion leaders, of course, there are quite a few challenges with the technology available. First of all, it is cost. I mentioned already it's an $8 billion market, but cost is not only the price of devices and doctors, but it's also the cost of the lengthy procedures. We have RF procedures, which is a predominant technology to do ablations currently which can take up to 3 hours. Some people say can even take longer. You need 3D mapping typically, which requires another engineer in the room. So overall, you have a very expensive setup to do these treatments. On top of that, these cases are complex. The doctors need a lot of experience. Very often, these electrophysiologists need to be trained for 8 or 10 years before they really can do these complex procedures with a long learning curve, of course, and so that limits the availability of treatment places. And of course, there are also side effects. And we are very aware of the fact that we came into a time where everybody, also here on stage, is hyping a technology called PFA, pulse field ablation. We are not pulse field ablation. We are a good old heat powered ablation energy, and we know our potential risks very well, because that therapy has or heat treatment of ablation has been around for certainly 30 plus years. And despite the fact that everybody said PFA is completely harmless and doesn't do anything, now new reports talk about hemolysis, kidney failure, coronary spasms, and reduced long-term atrial function. These are all problems you don't want to have if you just are treated for an atrial fibrillation. The steam-powered ablation, however, has several advantages. We preserve the tissue function maintenance. We maintain the atrial function. We have no blood cell damage. The procedure is scalable, and that is especially important for emerging markets. We have a low hurdle to perform, just an over-the-wire balloon placement. This can be even done by interventional cardiologists. We believe that our procedural times will be under 30 minutes from skin to skin, and the fully automated delivery of the energy and the gas exchange through our generator makes it very easy to perform. The therapy is also extremely effective. We see extremely nice ablation zones and very clean ablation limits. So we believe that long term we could be more effective than other therapies. The company itself has raised so far $7 million. We have 58 global patent assets. We have done successful in vivo and vitro testings, and 24 is a very important year for us. We are doing our chronic animal study, followed by design freeze, and we hope that we can do the first in-human test already this year. The investment opportunity is, as I said, 15 million. We have just introduced a bridge to that 15 million to give us a little bit more time to price the round, and this bridge is now open for investment opportunity, and that brings us from the concept to reality. As you can see, our final generator is ready. The products are ready, and this is our catheter system is also ready. As I said, we have a deflectable sheath, and also the catheter itself is deflectable. So looking at the setup of our company, we are very lean in terms of the direct employees. We're using contract manufacturing and contract engineering houses in the US. Our chairman is Eric Fain, certainly one of the most experienced gentlemen in this industry, having been the group president for St. Jude Medical during the Abbott merger. We are also using Professor Venkat Tolakanali from Minneapolis as a clinical advisor, and he's doing our clinical cases. And at the same time, we have a very seasoned scientific advisory board spearheaded by Professor Vivek Reddy and Professor Peter Neusel, who are both leading our scientific development. Now, again, the timeline for this year is pretty strict, and I think in the next 12 months we will see the first in-human studies, followed by approvals approval studies in Europe, and then after that in the US. Thank you very much for your interest. A little bit over the time, but good to be here. Thank you very much.